Turn our attention now to a subject that I'm sure will be of concern to many of you, especially those who use commercial transport. Now, members of a private commercial transport operators have hinted of an increment in transport fares by 30% starting tomorrow, Friday, February 18. Now, this is due to the increasing fuel prices in the country, the drivers say, and also add that they will be saving their transport businesses by increasing these transport fares, because as it stands, their maintenance costs continue to rise. Now, we know a gallon of fuel, which used to sell at the pumps at 27 cedis, has now jumped to almost 36 cedis per gallon. While operators were calling for 30% increase in fares, government had put on the table a 10% fare increase. As a result, the negotiation ended inconclusively, and it is expected to continue tomorrow, February 18, 2022. And so while the continuous negotiation, is on the table for the transport unions vis-a-vis the Ministry of Transport, the Ghana Private Road Transport Union, GPRTU, says it will wait for those negotiations to conclude before it brings out any concrete charge on transport fares. Now, some drivers and passengers have been reacting to the report of increasing the fares by 30% from tomorrow.
It's going up. It's not good. And we don't understand. Look at how the system is.
I think the 30% is fair because the fuel price is too much. Every day they are increasing it. 30% is normal.
We apologize for the poor quality of that particular sound clip, but let's cross over and speak to my colleague Richard Bright-Ado, who has been engaging some of the transport operators and the unions specifically about the talk of town, which is pointing to some increases in fares tomorrow. Richard, thank you for joining us. So which of the unions have you spoken to yet, and what does it appear to be the issue? Are we having transport fares go up by tomorrow?
Okay, so I have been speaking with the Ghana Private Road Transport Union. In fact, currently I am with them in their office, and the Deputy General Secretary in charge of operations, that is Richard Amankwa, has been speaking to me, telling me that they are quite surprised that the other unions, and for that matter, some 2 or 3 other unions would come out to put out such a statement. Which means they are just distancing themselves from the statement or plans to increase the transport fares by 30%. And so they are quite surprised at this development because he tells me that the unions, 60 unions that have met, and they met the first one the second time, and then there's a third one that they are waiting for, which will take place on Monday. That's their engagement with the government. And so until that meeting come to a close, the GPRTU will not be able to come out with any new rates in terms of the transport charges. So that is what he's been telling me. And so he's quite surprised. So he said they met the second minister, and the minister promised that he's going to consult the government for further deliberation, because they, their proposal, or at the meeting, they proposed for a 30% increment. Okay, but it has not taken effect yet, and they have not, or they are not part of the statement that is coming from the other union. And then the government, on the other hand, is proposing 10%. So government has agreed to go and meet. The transport ministry has agreed to go and meet government on the proposal from the driver union, the 16 unions. So let it be clear that this relief is not coming from the GPRTU, Ramata Protua, and the other tipper truck associations that are part of the broader union. They are not part of this.
Okay, Richard, so it would appear that the front of a driver operators unions is divided when it comes to whether or not to increase the transport fares. But you've been interacting with some of the passengers as well. What have they been telling you?
Yes, in fact, the passengers, they are equally surprised that there is something like this coming up, that what they think is that the system is quite choking. It's the cost of living is high, and so government, and for that matter, the transport operators must come to an agreement. And if there is a percentage of increment that will come, they are prepared to pay.
Okay.
So, but to say that it's a 30%, so somebody, for instance, will give you the currently what they are paying. So, if somebody is commuting from Labadi to the Tema station, they will tell you that this is currently what they are paying, like 4 cedis. And so, if you have to add the 30%, that takes them to like 6 cedis or 50 pesos. And they are in disapproval of this development.
Okay. Thank you, Richard Bright Ado, my colleague there, who has been on this beat, monitoring the meetings currently ongoing and the negotiations between the transport unions, the transport ministry and government on this particular subject of transport fare increases.